Introverts can be brilliant public speakers because introverts spend most of their life listening to other people. And when you listen to people, you gain a better understanding of who they are, what they want, what they need, and what makes them tick. And that information is priceless when it comes to creating a presentation and presenting to an audience. Because public speaking at the end of the day is all about connection. And introverts can connect better than extroverts by far. My name's Kyle Murter, and believe it or not, I'm actually naturally an introvert. In school, I was so quiet and shy that people used to say to me, Kyle, do you even speak? Yet I've went on to become a European champion of public speaking. I wrote a 5-star book on the topic, and I now run a business where I literally go around and I teach people how to communicate better and how to be more impactful when they speak. So I know firsthand that introverts can be great at this. We often just have to get past ourselves, get past our fear of communicating to groups. So what I wanted to do today is share with you 3 tips that will help introverts, like you perhaps, overcome that fear and communicate more effectively. Tip number 1 is to know that public speaking is an art. What I mean by that is there's not one set way to communicate effectively. You might think to be a good public speaker, you need to gesture a lot, you need to be loud, you need to be smiling all the time like this, and none of that is true. You can work to your own style. And I saw a great example of this at a friend's wedding. The father of the bride stood up and he had 2 pieces of paper. One of them was blank and the other had his notes. And as a joke, what he wanted to do was pick up the piece of paper with his notes and pretend to rip it and scrunch it up and throw it away. But really it would be the blank piece of paper and he'd have his notes by his side. But here was the problem. He actually ripped up his notes. And what that led to was him going on for 20 minutes, having no idea what to say or what to do, umming, looking confused, looking bewildered all the way through, doing everything wrong that you could think is a bad idea in public speaking. Yet, it was brilliant. Because he was hilarious. It was funny. And this is a point I want to make right here. You do not have to be perfect to be a great speaker. You just have to be you when you're up there. And I think this is helpful for introverts to know because it means your style of speaking can work because public speaking is an art. Tip number 2, instead of a presentation, make it a conversation. You do not have to be talking at your audience the entire time. This is not a situation where you're always speaking and they're always listening. No, you can break down that barrier and have a conversation with your audience. And what I mean by that is interacting with your audience. Ask them to raise their hands. Ask them specific questions. Ask them to discuss things in groups. Make it a natural conversation. And this is a tremendous idea for introverts because number 1, you do less talking and more listening, which is your strength. And secondly, it helps calm your nerves because it's no longer this formal presentation where you've got to stand up there and look out at all of these people looking back at you and say something to them. No, now you're literally chatting with them. And you'll find it actually brings more out of your audience and makes the presentation so much more enjoyable all round. Tip number 3, focus on the audience, not yourself. The whole point of public speaking is to share value with the people who are listening. And therefore, the presentation is not about you. It's not about your body language. It's not about how you sound. It's not about whether you or whether you freeze or whether you make a mistake or not. It's not about you. It's about the people you're speaking to. My point is, your presentation will be a success if you can simply just get your point across to the audience. If you can add value to their lives, then you've won. And it's as simple as that. And I think knowing that, especially for introverts, is helpful because it takes the spotlight off of you and shines it on your audience instead. And when you go in thinking about them more, trying to add that value, you will think less about how you are feeling, you'll think less about your nerves, and you'll just focus on doing a great job. Now, if you're new to presenting, you might want to know how to use notes effectively in your presentation, not like that father at the wedding. If you do, check out this video. It will give you some great tips for using notes while you are speaking. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.